Hello, nice to meet you. This is Kim Gi-hoon from Richgo. Today, I will discuss the supply and transaction trend data that came out at the end of September and provide a weekly market overview. Many of you are probably familiar with this since a lot of people have been looking at it. If you go to the left, you will see that the buying and selling supply is decreasing. A decrease in the buying and selling supply means that the market is not doing well. On the right, the buying and selling market is improving. If it goes down, the JONS, long-term rental supply, is decreasing. And if it goes up, the Jeonse supply is improving, which increases the likelihood of Jeonse prices rising. Currently, Seoul is on the right side. What do you think about Seoul? Now it has dropped sharply, right? So on September 8th, the data was 57.8, but due to Chuseok, there was a week off, and then the data released on September 22nd was 53.5. So in September, it has clearly turned downwards, and now the buying and selling supply has decreased even more. If you look at the blue line, it indicates that there are many sellers, and the number of sellers is continuously increasing. So what does this mean? Even the homeowners are starting to notice little by little what is happening now. Sellers are trying to sell now. However, the red indicates that both buying and selling have decreased. Therefore, the number of buyers is decreasing while the number of sellers continues to increase, leading to a decline in the supply and demand in the transaction market. As I mentioned, in September, the stress DSR will be implemented, and there will be a test of the market conditions. If this test continues, I indicated that prices could drop in about a month and a half to 2 months. We can observe whether the market is entering a decline by looking at the data from mid-October to early to mid-November. For now, I don't expect a sudden crash. I will tell you that the fall of 2024 is very similar to the fall of 2021. Although there was a decline in the first half of 2022, it was mild, and some areas even saw price increases, leading to a lot of speculation. I believe that 2025 will likely follow a similar pattern. However, what happened in the second half of 2022, there was a significant crash where both transaction prices and JONS prices plummeted. I assess that there is a very high possibility of such an event occurring in the second half of 2025. I will provide more detailed information related to this in my Real Estate Market Outlook lecture on October 12th. So, how is the JONS supply? The JONS supply has dropped from 143 to 139. I mentioned this right. What about the first, second, and third quarters of 2024? Historically, the period when the supply of new apartments in Seoul was the smallest in the first, second, and third quarters 2024. Additionally, the government has introduced special measures for housing loans. The government increase the gift tax exemption limit for newborns, and when people get married and have children, the gift tax exemption limit is raised even further. As a result, along with the small amount of new housing supply, the market heated up significantly. In the fourth quarter of 2024, what did I say would happen? That's right, the supply will increase. When will that be? It's October 2nd, and I'm currently filming. We're starting the fourth quarter and the month of October. So what does that mean from now on? The supply in Seoul will increase significantly. So what will happen to the Jeonse supply in Seoul? It will drop again? Like when? Like back then. There is a high possibility that it will drop like this again. This is my assessment. Therefore, the market situation is still heading in a negative direction. Incheon has risen compared to the overall situation in Incheon, while the JONS supply has fallen. How about Gyeonggi province? Gyeonggi province is also continuing to decline, just like Seoul. The increase in JONS supply has come to a halt. In Ulsan, however, the JONS supply continues to improve. The buying and selling supply is currently in a hot state, but has stopped. Gangwon province dropped left. Gangwon province heated up, but now sharply down in real estate. Next, North Jeolla province has improved significantly. In other words, the market has gotten a bit better, but the overall market situation is still not very good. As for North Chungcheong province, there has been almost no change. There is no change there. However, Jeju Island is one area where some changes are occurring. Jeju Island has improved a bit, and the Jeon situation has also gotten a little better, so Jeju Island has seen some improvement. But what about Daejeon? I thought Daejeon was showing a slight rebound, but it has gone down again. So, Daejeon is experiencing a slight warming trend in the buying and selling supply, but it is now getting worse again. In Sejong, which is right next to Daejeon, there was a brief improvement, but it has also decreased again. Therefore, both Sejong and Daejeon are seeing a gradual decline in their buying and selling supply. It seems that the influence of stress and secondary factors is playing a role to some extent. How about South Jeolla province? It has improved a bit. However, if you look here, most regions have shifted to the left. Look, they have all moved to the left. What does it mean that they have moved to the left? The buying and selling supply is getting worse. In other words, the number of sellers is increasing while the number of buyers is decreasing. What does that mean? The secondary effects of the stress DSR, debt service ratio, are now officially beginning. This is what is currently being shown in the buying and selling supply. But who are the exceptions? It is South Jeolla province and North Jeolla province. The situation in South Jeolla and North Jeolla has improved a bit. But what about South Jeolla and North Jeolla? The apartment prices are very low, right? Because it is so cheap, the impact of the debt service ratio, DSR, is not that significant. It's not that significant. So, in the case of South Jeolla province and North Jeolla province, there has been quite a movement to the right, hasn't there? In the case of North Chungcheong province, it also moves slightly to the right. So, most of the regions that move significantly to the left are the metropolitan cities, specifically Gwangju, Daejeon, Sejong, and Daegu, which have all moved quite a bit to the left. Therefore, the metropolitan cities have been significantly affected. What about the capital region? Seoul and Gyeonggi province have been significantly affected, and it seems that the leading area, Seoul, is clearly showing a downturn in supply. This time, I will look at the transaction trend data. If we look to the left, we can see that the sales transactions have declined. Seoul's sales transactions have decreased, Incheon's have decreased, and Sejong's have decreased as well. However, on the right side, South Chungcheong province has seen an increase in transactions, as has North Gyeongsang province, while Ulsan is only seeing an increase in Jeon's transactions. North Chungcheong province has dropped significantly. Therefore, the regions on the right where transactions are increasing include South Jeolla province, North Jeolla province, Daegu, Daejeon, and North Gyeongsang province, which are currently experiencing some growth in transactions in Busan, represented in black, as well as in Daegu, Daejeon, North Gyeongsang province, and South Chungcheong province. Transactions are gradually increasing. Meanwhile, what is happening in Seoul, Incheon, and Gyeonggi province on the left? The trading transactions are all declining now, and Sejong is also experiencing a downturn. So, if you look at Seoul, can you see the transactions? They've completely dropped off, right. So now, the transaction volume has dropped to about the level of May. This transaction volume is likely to decrease even further in the future. The transaction volume, which shows the energy intensity of the market, is also gradually declining. Incheon seems to be improving slightly in terms of supply and demand. But look at the transactions. It is clearly visible that they are currently declining. How about Gyeonggi province? It is also clearly visible that the transactions in Gyeonggi province are declining. What about Sejong? It has significantly increased on the left. We can see from the charts that the transaction volume has significantly decreased. Therefore, when we look at the supply and transaction volume in the metropolitan area, we can confirm that the energy intensity is currently weakening significantly. So, with the implementation of the second phase of the debt service ratio, DSR, and the end of the government's real estate stimulus policy in August, especially in September, it seems that transactions and supply are clearly heading in a negative direction. If this situation continues, apartment prices in Seoul and some areas of the metropolitan region are expected to drop again starting from mid-October to November, just like what happened last year. Now, the key question here is, what is it? In 2023 and at the beginning of 2024, the government implemented policies that heated up the market again. What does it mean whether such policies come out or not? The flow of the real estate market will be determined in the first half of 2025. Many things are waiting for us in 2025. Starting from July 2025, the door for the third round of stress, DSR, debt service ratio, loans will become narrower. Because of this, I foresee a significant downturn in the second half of 2025. I will discuss this in more detail during the offline event on October 12th, where I will be speaking for 3 hours. Thank you.